Okay, so we're on page 9 of your handout packet now, and what you'll see is these arrows that look like a circle here. And so from a big picture standpoint, we talked about BNBBs a little bit. From a big picture standpoint, it's how are we going to get a 20% improvement in our performance so that we recover faster from our workout? Essentially, what you're looking at is you do a training period followed by recovery period. Before the body can recover and you can train more frequently or with more intensity, gain muscle endurance, lose body fat, improve your immune system and your attention and focus, and memory and motivation and things like that, the body has to recover. So if you just don't feel that great when you're getting back to your workouts, you don't feel like you got the oomph like you did in the beginning, it's related to nutrition, unless you're training too often, which it can be. You really can't make up, if you're training too much to get your goal, you can't make up for it with nutrition, but nutrition will help you maximize your recovery. So how do we do that? Here's a little greater detail, right? You have your training period, then you recover, and then you prep for your next workout. The recovery, again, within an hour of your workout relates to getting enough protein and carbohydrate within 1 hour. If you eat food to do it, it'll take too long and you just won't maximize your recovery. Depends on your motivation for exercising and training. If you just don't really care that much, or if you don't have goals and competitions and train, or weight loss goals or whatever, then it may not matter. But if you're tired of not getting the results you want, that's where the recovery drink comes in. A little greater detail, we're on page 10 now. The training phase, that means that you do the right amount of exercise, the right amount of training for your goal, and not too much. You have to rest enough, and you should feel energized and relaxed following your workout. If it's too much, you won't feel that way. You'll feel like, I gotta get out of here. Next is the recovery phase. What that relates to, if you're doing endurance exercises at all, is replacing your fluids. Enough nutrition at the correct time, again, rest. And I talk about reducing your toxins by 30%. In other words, eat whole foods and reduce the amount of artificial flavoring, coloring, things like that that's in your food, as well as you use products that aren't going to toxify you at home. Instead of using Tide or something like that, you use products that are earth-friendly, and that reduces your toxins in your system, at least during the 8 hours or 30% of the time you're at home. Then you'll be far ahead of the competition. And of course, prevent overtraining. The final phase in preparation, you got that 1 hour. It's basically like when you think of a grocery store. They put the products on the shelf, people come in and buy them, and then they have to restock the shelves. That's what we're doing in the time period between our workouts, is restocking the shelves. So that when you go in to do your workout or your training or whatever your event is, your cells are already as full as they can be with nutrition. That's how you get the best response from your training. When I train people, whether they're doing weight, whether they want to lose weight or they want to gain strength or lean muscle, they have to have 1,000 calories on board in their body prior to their workout. A lot of times there's people saying, oh, well, you should exercise on an empty stomach and these kinds of things. Well, again, it comes back to the results. I'm loyal to the results. Do they gain lean mass, gain strength, gain endurance, and burn fat? Generally, the people who are starving themselves are not getting that at all. Most of the time when people want to lose weight, they're eating too little and exercising too much. Unless you're watching one of these Discovery Health Channel shows where the people weigh 600, 700, 800 pounds and they're sitting at home just shoving in burgers all day long. The average person who's under 400 pounds and under, they're not eating enough, they're overtraining too much, and they create a negative cycle. So a lot of times, well, maybe in the next phase I'll cover this next part here. This diagram on page 11 shows how to structure your eating. Essentially what you're doing is you have a meal and a snack, a meal and a snack, a meal and a snack. And you need to eat about 8 times a day, between 4 and 8 smaller meals a day. That's how you maximize your lean mass and burn fat, and you get the most amount of, ultimately that builds up your health in a cumulative fashion, okay? We're gonna stop right there for this segment since we won't have time to do anymore, and I'll see you on the next one.